Yaman is no stranger to the spotlight. For years, the Turkish heartthrob has commanded global attention with his magnetic presence on screen, his larger-than-life persona, and the mystery that always seems to surround his personal life. Yet nothing prepared fans for the shockwave that came after his most recent interview. Sitting down with reporters, Yaman opened up in a way that fans rarely see, mixing honesty with raw emotion, and dropping hints about a future that no one saw coming. The interview quickly became a trending topic across Europe, the Middle East, and Latin America. Italian tabloids splashed his words on front pages. Turkish entertainment outlets dissected every second of the footage. Social media exploded with speculation. What does Can plan to do next? Will he finally return to Turkey? Is he stepping away from acting? Or is there a secret project he has kept under wraps until now? What made the interview so striking wasn't just the content, but the tone. For the first time in years, Can looked less like the polished celebrity who dominates red carpets and more like a man burdened by choices that could change the trajectory of his career forever. Viewers noticed how his voice cracked when he spoke of new beginnings. They caught the subtle pauses, the way he avoided certain names, and the fire in his eyes when the topic of the future came up. Industry insiders are already whispering that something big is about to happen. Some claim he has been approached for a groundbreaking Hollywood project, while others insist his heart lies in Europe, where he has built a loyal fan base. A third camp believes his future has less to do with acting and more with personal revelations, possibly involving someone from his past who remains deeply tied to his story. But what exactly did Can Yaman reveal in that interview? And why has the world reacted with such intensity? To answer that, we need to unpack his words carefully, trace the journey that led him here, and understand how one man's future plans became the subject of a global frenzy. The tension surrounding Can Yaman's interview didn't just come from the things he said, it came from the things he didn't say. Fans noticed that when the interviewer pressed him about Turkey, he gave a half-smile, then carefully chose his words. If I ever return, it won't be for the reasons people expect. It will be for something much more personal, something that goes beyond fame. That single sentence was enough to set the internet on fire. Within hours, hashtags like #CanYamanFuture and #ShockingPlans trended worldwide. Some fans speculated he might be considering a return to his homeland for a major TV series comeback. Others believed the personal reason was a veiled reference to someone special, a connection from his past that never fully disappeared. Was he talking about a former co-star? A love he left behind? Or was it about family, a longing to reconnect with his roots after years of living abroad? In Italy, where Can has been embraced almost like a native son, tabloids ran with another angle, the possibility of him leaving. After all, Italy has become his base, his kingdom. From starring in Viola Come Il Mare to receiving awards and constantly making headlines, his Italian chapter has been nothing short of spectacular. Would he really risk all of that for a return to Turkey, or for something even more unpredictable? Critics argue that Can is at a crossroads. He has already conquered Turkish television, he has established himself in Europe, and Hollywood is rumored to be knocking on his door. Yet his words suggested a man who is not chasing power or money, but searching for meaning. One entertainment columnist described him as a restless star, brilliant, but still looking for where he truly belongs. And then came the most shocking moment of the interview. When asked directly about his future plans, Can leaned forward, his expression firm, and said, "The next step will surprise even my closest friends. I am ready to take a risk, even if it means starting from zero." Those words sent shockwaves across his fandom. What could possibly be so big, so risky, that even his inner circle doesn't know about it? The mystery deepened, and so did the obsession. Every entertainment program replayed the clip, fans dissected his body language, and headlines screamed about the shocking truth behind Can Yaman's next move. As the interview continued, it became clear that Can Yaman was not simply speaking to the journalist in front of him, he was speaking to the world. His eyes carried the weight of someone who knows that every word will be magnified, translated, debated, and remembered. And yet, he chose to speak anyway, revealing more about his inner struggles than fans had heard in years. He admitted that fame has brought him incredible opportunities but also heavy sacrifices. Sometimes people forget that behind the cameras there is a man who feels, who doubts, who gets tired of pretending to be perfect. I've made mistakes, I've learned, and I want my next step to be about authenticity, not just performance. That confession struck a chord with fans everywhere. Suddenly, this wasn't just a superstar talking about career moves, it was a human being opening up about vulnerability. This moment shifted the narrative completely. Instead of focusing only on his professional projects, viewers began to wonder if his shocking future plans were tied to a more personal transformation. Was Ken hinting at a desire to step away from the relentless spotlight? Could he be preparing to pursue a quieter, more meaningful life, perhaps even settling down and building a family? Italian media outlets jumped on this angle, publishing headlines like "Ken Yaman, ready to say goodbye to stardom?" Meanwhile, Turkish commentators speculated that his words were directed at someone very specific. They recalled past relationships, rumored romances, and the undeniable chemistry he once shared with certain co-stars. The idea that Ken's next step might involve rekindling a lost love added fuel to the fire, making the story even more explosive. But then came another revelation. When asked if he feared losing fans by taking unexpected risks, Ken smiled gently and said, "If people love me only for the roles I play, then maybe they don't really love me at all. But if they accept me for the man I am, then they will understand my choice." That line became an instant quote, shared thousands of times across social media, painted on fan banners, and even printed on t-shirts within days. By the end of the interview, what was supposed to be a routine conversation had turned into one of the most dramatic and impactful media moments of Ken Yaman's career. Fans were no longer just asking about his next series or movie, they were questioning whether they truly knew the man behind the star. By the time the camera stopped rolling, one truth had become undeniable: Ken Yaman had just reshaped the conversation around his life and career. What started as an interview quickly evolved into a declaration, a message not just to the entertainment world, but to every fan who has followed his journey from Istanbul to Rome, from Turkish drama sets to international red carpets. The days that followed were nothing short of a media storm. Every headline screamed with theories: Ken Yaman quits acting? Secret Hollywood project confirmed? Return to Turkey for love? Rumors ran wild, and yet, amid all the noise, fans kept coming back to the same words: "I'm ready to take a risk, even if it means starting from zero." Those words echoed like a challenge, to himself, to his industry, and to the world that watches his every move. Some believe this risk could be tied to launching his own production company, where he would have full creative control instead of being just a face on screen. Others whisper about his dream of crossing fully into Hollywood, a move that would test his ability to conquer not just Europe but the global stage. And then there are those who believe the risk has nothing to do with business at all, but with the heart, that Ken Yaman is finally ready to choose love over fame, even if it means changing everything. For fans, the uncertainty is both painful and thrilling. They fear losing the Ken they see on screen, but they also admire his courage to speak with such raw honesty. Social media has become a battlefield of emotions, some begging him to stay exactly as he is, others cheering him on to embrace whatever path feels authentic. What's undeniable is this: Ken Yaman has reached a turning point. His shocking revelations were not simply about projects, scripts, or contracts. They were about a man confronting himself, daring to break free from expectations, and writing a future on his own terms. And maybe that's why the world is stunned. Because in an era where celebrities are carefully scripted, Ken Yaman chose to show his humanity. He chose risk over comfort, authenticity over perfection, and a future full of uncertainty rather than a present full of predictability. Whether his next step takes him to Hollywood, back to Turkey, or into a love story waiting to be lived, one thing is certain: this is not the end of Ken Yaman's journey, it's the beginning of his most daring chapter yet.